Well, we look forward to our next presenter as well. I had mentioned that HKS was on stage last year around the US Bank Stadium project, some of the design challenges and technologies they used to complete that project on such a short timeline. And we work at CTC very closely with HKS. We've talked a lot about what they're doing and how their use of technology is changing not only how they accomplish work, but also their internal conversations. We asked them to present again this year, and we're very pleased to have Vicki and Reeti with us.
So Reeti Gupta is the Director of Practice Technology and a BIM Manager at HKS, based out of their Atlanta office. We appreciate her flying in for this. Reeti has 17 years of professional experience and has a unique ability to visualize complex forms and geometry and designs where she interweaves art, architecture, and technology. Reeti brings her expertise in using BIM within comprehensive, large-scale projects.
And co-presenting is Vicki Patel as well. She's currently the Practice Technology Manager and firm-wide BIM Manager at HKS, and she's based out of the Dallas office. She has 12 years architectural experience and currently works with the regional BIM managers to develop the strategic plan outlining their BIM implementation. Some of her recent work, as you will see, has been focused on providing project teams and firm leadership with real-time model analytics and performance trends.
All right, so please welcome to the stage, Reeti and Vicki. Big round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. So thank you very much for giving us the opportunity, CTC, to be able to present this morning. This is our second year at Midwest University. And we are very, very excited about what we've learned so far and today's experience moving forward. So I'm going to give a little background about HKS and Practice Technology as a group. It's going to be really short. HKS as a design firm was started 77 years ago. We have 24 offices worldwide and have designed the largest, some of the largest hospitals and luxurious hotels around the world. And we've also designed the Viking Stadium. I think it's been said 3 times already, so I'll keep it to that. HKS reflects a history of innovation, and we are very lucky to be a part of that team where we are pushing that forward. And with its global presence, we have so many unique and talented designers. We actually shape the world where millions come to live, learn, work, heal, and play. We believe in creating places that enhance the human experience. Within HKS, Practice Technology was created to further that path. We are at a crossroads where we need to understand the real importance of the eye in BIM, the role of data in design, how we interpret that data, what we do, and research on it, how we collect the information and map it to different functions, create informed design. We want to innovate new spaces and really foster the energies of our designs towards a built environment. Practice Technology is a group of highly talented BIM professionals and technology professionals. Our major focus areas are in BIM management, obviously, and we are very well connected firm-wide, right from our end users to leadership. We maintain our design resources. We provide learning and development opportunities and support. We also help our end users create immersive experiences using virtual reality and augmented reality. We ensure processes that allow for building performance analysis on all our projects. Our vision is to connect the design practice at all phases to the most efficient workflows and processes by providing the right set of tools and education. In order to further our vision, we are embarking on the data intelligence journey. We have so much data and technology right here on our wrists that we are collecting our heart rate every second. And that is our personal data, our personal metrics. HKS also has so many projects and we have so much data. We need to capture that data and combine it from our models and our other project information databases to be able to visualize them and create greater impact. A couple years ago, I heard this TED Talk, which is one of the most watched TED Talks of Hans Rosling, and he said, let the data set change your mindset. The examples he provided made a huge impact on my mind. Data is only useful when we ask the right questions, when we use the right tools, and are able to visualize it for a larger impact. So we are changing our mindset. We have envisioned a data-driven process and categorized into 5 sections. We've got data-driven decisions, data-driven planning, design, support, and culture. Let's look at data-driven decisions and how HKS has been using it already. There is a design intelligence system that we have envisioned where we take raw data and parse it through to create project wisdom. This reduces rework and provides quality information to all our project stakeholders. We think a design intelligence system cannot be linear. It has to be a cyclical process that will evolve with time and need for change. So we started using the analysis and the data that we've acquired and worked with the Construction Industry Institute. They have helped us take internal and external data for the purpose of benchmarking our projects in healthcare. The output that we received was based on a quartile chart analysis for all the metrics that mattered. Some of the metrics that they've measured with us are support area per unit and net to gross factor, unit area per bed. Let's take a look at the patient room size. The client's patient rooms was compared with about 50 other projects worldwide. The room size lies within the interquartile range, which is within the middle 2 blocks. That indicates that the rooms are sized appropriately compared to similar facilities. Other studies we did internally compared the growth of inpatient units and typical patient room sizes from 1986 to 2004, where we've clearly seen that the sizes have grown. This dashboard was created for department leadership. Leaders can see key metrics for current periods as well as over time in order to analyze department performance. By using graphs and tables on a single view, the dashboard provides users flexibility in how they want to consume the data. They can move over any of these bar charts and graphs and get granular detail if desired. So a lot of our model data is really rapidly changing. It has a large speed, and it's very variable. How can we tap at it at any given time and obtain what we need to look at? Analytics gives us real-time fluctuations that allow us to see areas and needs for expansion and where our users are needing training. A good data visualization offers insight and makes the light bulb go off. Visualization also offers interaction with the data. So we're very keen on moving forward with doing some good visualization for data analytics and be able to get trends, business intelligence, data exploration, optimization, and prediction. Data-driven planning was something we launched about 2 years ago, not knowing that data analytics is going to be a big thing. At the time, our designs were created using lots of technologies like computation and BIM, but it's not just geometry. It's the embedded information that is present in our models. We annotate our drawings and supplement our documents with specifications about our furniture, finishes, and all our building materials. That is all essentially data. So we thought about creating this data-centric process such that we have an automated single repository. We use multiple tools and processes, and we create all this data at various stages of a project. So we created this common HKS database using DROFIS. We were handed a spreadsheet, and this was a proof of concept, again, 2 years ago for Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta. And we were just handed a spreadsheet with multiple tabs of 200,000 square feet of program. Well, all of us have seen that, right? Lots and lots of data in rows and columns. So we took a stab at visualizing that Excel spreadsheet in a different form and created a function program structure. So we had 4 major departments, which branched into sub-departments and later branched into units. And each unit had multiple rooms in it. Some of these rooms are common, so we created room data sheets and room templates and assigned it to those rooms. This was very powerful. DROFIS also gave us the ability to validate the program by comparing it against by comparing the programmed area versus the designed area. And these were automated dashboards on their web app, And that was just amazing because at a high level, now we could see how the project was progressing. So we thought to ourselves, how can we get further into the granular detail of where the rooms are in the sub-departments and the units? So we took the rooms database and exported it, yes, back into Excel, because at the time, that was what I knew. I was like, OK, I can create some pivot charts by just creating a pivot data table and be able to see how the project is performing. And that's when we thought, oh, wow, this is amazing, because our project managers can now get a glimpse of how the team is performing. So why don't we do more and take all the Revit parameters and create visualizations or graphs to visualize them in either Power BI or Tableau? So let's imagine for a second. I mean, I've gone through a lot of slides here, but as people, as who we are, let's imagine who we are. What comes to your mind when you think of an architect? You know, the black on black with round eyeglasses, that's what comes to my mind. Someone like this. What happened? The architect came in, created these wonderful buildings, historic, our architecture is beautiful, all hand-drawn. We then enter the whole CAD and BIM era, and then we do these numerous models within each project. Now we need someone to model and manage those models. So comes the BIM Manager. Now, I'm sure there's lots of BIM managers out here, and nobody would disagree with me that we all have superpowers. So with these superpowers, we have to move into the next step. And I'm calling this, let's be the next data detective. So we're going to be the ones having a cape, playing with bar charts and graphs, understanding what to read, what not. So I'd like to ask my friend here, Vicki, let's create a new normal for these BIM managers so that we can do our work better by measuring the metrics on the things we manage, that is our tools and processes. Let's be that data detective, and let's use data as the new soil to lay our foundations for the buildings we design and build.
Well, thank you, Reeti. Those are some intriguing questions you asked. And before I go into talking about this new norm for BIM managers, I'd like to share one more aspect of data at HKS. When you asked us to envision that architect, I actually saw the faces of our fellow colleagues at HKS, and I saw how they've made data-driven design integral to our process. This is because HKS believes in the philosophy of responsible design, a philosophy that revolves around the quality of our thinking combined with our technical expertise in order for us to create designs that integrate both beauty and performance. It's a systems-driven thinking. The elements of our design are deliberate, they're integrative, and they're absolutely innovative. We believe that design should rejuvenate and uplift our clients, design teams, communities, investors, and the environment, our stakeholders. Seeing these stakeholders as vested partners requires a different approach that can develop potential for all, a data-driven approach. To showcase the strides we've made by incorporating this philosophy, I can't think of a better example than one of our very own HKS offices, HKS Chicago Living Lab. Our Chicago office just relocated into this new facility, one that truly combines beauty and performance. During the design process, our co-creators looked at many metrics, from energy, cost, and ultimately our carbon footprint. In order to measure and validate our metrics against our design goals, we incorporated a tenant, energy, and environmental management system. We also looked at the personality and well-being of our employees. In order to achieve a "we are better together" office culture, prototype participants were selected. These volunteers were a myriad of individuals who either worked together on teams, they were mobile workers, had a diverse personality spectrum, and were considered early adopters to new ways of working. The results of this study helped lay out the workspace and drive the desired culture. Honestly, to me, this is really exciting, to be here talking about how HKS not only designs buildings for our clients with a responsible design mindset, but to be able to say that we utilize that same thinking on our own spaces. It's such an honor. The Chicago Living Lab is just one example of data-driven design at HKS. So, Reeti, you asked another question earlier. Envision the BIM manager. This question struck a chord with me. As you know, but many in the audience probably don't know, I recently transitioned into this role of a full-time BIM manager. If you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have had a very different answer. But today, this is what I see. I see a person with many skills, a person who has a hand for every act, a person who's always looking to solve the next problem, and a person who doesn't have enough hours in the day to solve these problems. When I stepped into this role, it was eye-opening for me. Although I did make the transition, the one part of the role that I found the most challenging was the support side. The inability to provide fast, reliable solutions for project teams when their Revit model had speed issues, when I couldn't tell them why the performance of their model was suffering, and ultimately when I couldn't answer questions such as, why is my model crashing? I became highly frustrated, honestly a bit deflated. I wasn't frustrated because I couldn't provide the solutions. It just required a lot more time. I would have to manually inspect the model, element by element, and then combine it with our knowledge. And although I may have the time to complete this thorough inspection, the project team didn't. They're working on billable projects towards deadlines, ultimately affecting the profitability at HKS. This is when we stepped back and thought to ourselves, we're working with building information models. After all, they're just a bunch of ones and zeros in our ecosystems, a bunch of bytes that we as technologists can find a way to analyze. We came up with this thesis. If our decisions, planning, and design can be data-driven, then our support model and practice technology should be data-driven. We should be able to gather data from different devices our employees use to generate their designs and models, house this data in a central location, and provide visual reports that can function as early detection systems for our project teams. The goal being to provide a proactive support model. This sounded great in theory, but we were forgetting one thing. We're not data scientists. We had the slightest knowledge of data science, which meant one thing. As BIM managers, we'd increase our skills by one more, because having this data would just help increase our knowledge and ultimately help us improve our process and workflows. So we started down this path. We started with a pilot, knowing that there's going to be many iterations of testing and refining. Our first attempt at this was manual data mining with the use of Dynamo and Excel. We were able to generate reports providing us the relevant information to diagnose a model. But this option was not fully scalable. It was just too manual. Fortunately for us, this was around the same time we were here at MU last year and learned about CTC's data suite. With their help and learning some of the basics of Power BI and Tableau, we started the automated data mining process and were able to create real-time dashboards for consumption. Now we were asking ourselves, is this data proving to be helpful? Are we able to provide solutions to our project teams quicker than before? Well, exactly 2 weeks ago, as I was putting together screenshots for this presentation, I got an email from a project team concerned with their save times. Luckily, this team was part of our pilot, so I immediately pulled up the dashboard and started to investigate. I first looked at our company summary and noticed that the project in question ranked #1 in file size at over a gig. That was flag #1. I secondly checked the maximum save times for the whole company, and although there were some spikes, it wasn't an overall increase. Next, I dove into the details for that particular project and found that their hotel model was the largest contributor to that file size. I checked the overall save times again for the project and did not notice any strange spikes, but what I did notice was the number of warnings, the inconsistent Revit build versions, and the large number of in-place families and unenclosed rooms. But I still needed more information. I looked into the details of each contributor on the file, and this is where I found the anomaly. Only one user was experiencing longer save times. So here I am at about 5 minutes into my inspection. Yes, just 5 minutes. And I had narrowed down the issue to one contributor. I started to look at each save cycle and compare the number of elements added, edited, and deleted to determine whether these save times were correlated with the amount of changes that this contributor made. In less than 30 minutes, I was able to send the team a diagnosis on their situation. I not only provided the team with the number of warnings, but I provided them with a list of the ones that we recommended resolving immediately. For us, as BIM managers, to have the ability to see these warnings without getting into the model, being able to sort and group them, and then even filter them down to the level or work set, that in itself proves that we're on the right track. So to answer your question, can BIM managers be data detectives? Yes, we've already started to forge the way.
That is just amazing. Incredible work, Vicki. So my light bulbs have definitely gone off. I'm sure a lot of people here are working with data-driven processes, and it's just amazing how much we can dig into our data and analyze and understand what is happening at a large scale. So all this is leading to data-driven culture. And we went over the data-driven decisions and how we can tap into multiple data sources, create insights, use data-centric planning, and leverage new tools to enhance our workflows. And we looked at all the data-driven support tools that we've used to analyze our Revit model data. We should be able to share our outcomes, improve our training, craft new skills and roles into the future. So at HKS, we are embracing this cultural shift with data and digital transformation. With data being so ubiquitous around us, seriously, we need to capture it before it captures us. So this is what we're going to do about data. We are going to create a data-driven culture. We are creating a hunger and appreciation for data within HKS. What are you going to do with your data? Thank you so much.
Thanks.